In the end, the whole point is this: we can't do it on our own. Me, particularly, I can't do it on my own. I think of my family, and I think of, my parents, and I think of those people that kind of invested in me. And each one of us, we know different people in our lives that have invested in us and been part of the journey. And begin to think about this. You ever wonder what your autobiography would look like? In the end, chapter 29 is kind of like the biography of Paul. And you ever wonder what your autobiography would look like, and who really came into your life? And, particularly the first couple of chapters, when you talk about the history of your family, and you just think, these are the different people that played a huge role in my life. In fact, as I was writing my autobiography, my son got a hold of it, and he threw the pages all around the house, and, reminds me that I really need to get my life sorted out. Sorry, that was supposed to be funny. Actually, my friend claims that he accidentally glued himself to his autobiography, but I don't believe him, but he's sticking to his story. But what does your story look like? Really, what does your story look like? As I've been reading through my devotionals this past year, I've been reading through Nicky Gumbel's Year Through the Bible. And he talks about this idea particularly. He says, because he didn't come to Christ until the age of 20, and similar to me. And he talks about this idea that, what his life was like before Christ and what his life was like after Christ. And he kind of was sharing this with, kind of an elder one time. And he says, it's just the excitement of the change and the difference between what it looked like before Christ and the people that came into play. But what this Nicky came to realize, he says, I'm super thankful, and I'm thankful for my kids, particularly who know Jesus now. They don't know what life was like before Jesus, because Jesus has always been in their life. And he's a big part of that whole journey with a lot of us. We can't do it on our own. In particular, we can't do it without Jesus. And Paul, he did a lot. And he had a lot of help. And for me particularly, as Paul gets to know Jesus personally, he would admit to the fact that he couldn't do it without the Holy Spirit. And for all of us, we need to recognize that. We can't do it without the Holy Spirit.